Hi there, this is Steve Spurrier. You can join University of Florida Hall of Famer Shane Matthews and also the two-time SEC Player of the Year every weekday as he brings you all you need to know about the Florida Gators, including news, analysis, opinions, and some of the biggest names in sports. You can find him on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Or you can watch him live at 8 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter.
Good morning. It's a live edition of PodUp with Matthews in the Morning, coming to you from the International Diamond Center Studios, locations across the state of Florida, right there at Celebration Point in the heart of Gator Nation. Go check them out, International Diamond Center. We got JC today. We have Brad Wilkerson, second portion of the day's program, probably the greatest baseball player in my Gator career, lifetime as a Gator. Missed it last night, 1-1 now in your Stanley Cup Finals. Texas goes back-to-back Women's College World Series, and tonight is Game 2 of the NBA Finals. Let's go to the Titan Memorial Hotline. We're joined by the one, the only corn dog, JC himself. What's up, JC?
Jimmy, did you watch any of the softball while the hockey was also on? Yeah, I tell you that Tegan Kavon is about as unhittable as it gets. She's better than the Texas Tech pitcher, if you ask me. But man, I tell you, got to give a credit to those Longhorns coming out of the losers bracket, bro. They lost. I think they lost. If I'm not mistaken, they lost
Both
their first.
Both teams came out of the losers. Both of them came out of the losers bracket.
So they both lost their first game, and then they ended up playing for the championship. And I think you saw a Texas Tech team that just kind of folded defensively, and a Texas team that will take advantage of anything you give them. And again, you get to that pitcher, Kavon. She is as good a closer as there is, or starter even. And Texas is your back-to-back champion. So now we have we have back-to-back SEC champions, because that's what Texas is now. And, what is it with Texas Tech and the handshake thing? I don't understand what happened with Florida, because I didn't see that whole episode, because I basically shut it off when Texas Tech was running up the score. But what is the thing with the handshake deal with the Texas Tech Lady Raiders? What is that?
Well, there's two things to it. A lot was going on in our series. I would probably say this. I think Texas Tech is kind of like the villain, JC, among college athletics right now. Would you agree? Regardless of the sport.
It does feel that way.
I will just say this, because I follow Kelsey Stewart, Aubrey Monroe, former national champion girls, that played for the Gators in softball.
Yeah.
They said that even after the super regionals that they all played in, you're celebrating because you just won the super regional. The other team is not celebrating, and they're sitting in the dugout, so there's usually not a handshake. Maybe there is later on. I think that's what happens when a team is celebrating. The other team doesn't know what to do or whatever. I don't know. Why did they not shake their hands?
Apparently not. And, I'm not sure I buy all that. The Florida Gators stood there in the dugout while Troy was dancing around the diamond and waited until they were done with their dances and shook their hands. I mean, in hockey, the most brutal playoff scenario you have in professional sports, and it is as common as the sun rising, that those teams line up at center ice and shake hands. I just think it's the way you should be. I don't think you should go huffing and puffing off the field or off the court because you lost. That's just a bad look. But that's just me. Maybe there's something between Texas and Texas Tech. I do know in football, QB, I don't know if you heard Joey McGuire of Texas Tech basically say, hey, guys, in Texas, because Sark was talking about his 2s and 3s being able to start against most teams. And the Texas Tech coach said, well, why don't we just play in Lubbock? And I'll tell you what we'll do, Texas. We'll go ahead and pay off Abilene Christian, and you guys can pay off the team you're playing, Texas State. Let's let them play in the first week of the season, and then let's get together and play. And by the way, Texas, if you can't afford it, we'll pay off the contract for you. And then you can come ahead and drive into Lubbock Lubbock. And if that's not good enough for you, we'll meet you in Jerry's world. He openly said that publicly. And of course, that's not going to happen. But I think there's something between Texas Tech and Texas, even though they're not in the same conference, they're in the same state. And that's pretty funny. So,
Jace, it's one of those deals where everybody is below the Texas Longhorns.
oh, sure. Yes. Absolutely.
Okay? And so Texas Tech wants to play them. Well, obviously, if you look at Texas's schedule, they don't have time, or they can't afford to play Texas Tech. They have a couple of cupcakes that they need to play because they have a pretty difficult schedule this year. So,
I know it's not. I know it's not going to happen, and Joe McGuire knows it's not going to happen. But I think it's funny how he said he'd even pay off their game against Texas State so that they could meet together somewhere in the state of Texas and play. That's what everybody wants. I thought it was great. I love that scenario. It made me laugh.
All right, so my internet is working now, so I'm going to hang up.
You mean your equipment is borderline 1996?
No,
there you are.
You went under that crazy, awful Cox Communications that you had.
Right, it's working right now.
Oh, well, mine always works. It's just
okay.
Yeah.
Well, hey, anyway, you have to admit that was funny. When the Texas Tech guy basically openly challenged the Texas Longhorns. I love that.
Let me tell you something. The Red Raiders don't want none of the damn Texas Longhorns on a regular basis.
He was just talking about in the first game this season.
I know. They don't want that. They want nothing to do with it. So Andy's got a question for you, JC, here on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law. And Joseph says, I agree with this. He goes, Texas Tech has little brother syndrome. Yes.
Feels like it.
And he says, what's your take on Steph Curry signing a 10-year deal with China Shoe Company after leaving Under Armour?
Well, I think we all know.
What's the China Shoe Company?
It's called Li-Ning, Lining, I want to say. It's $400 million. And listen,
what Steph Curry's getting?
Yeah.
Hope he doesn't turn his ankle.
Anybody on earth would do that deal. But the simple fact of the matter is, and I think the back page story here, and actually it's the front page story, is that the NBA is run by China. And I've known that since LeBron James, with all his nonsense and his political speeches that he was given. And, it goes to Kerr, it goes to Popovich, it goes to all these guys that politicize the sport and politicize their jobs. And basically, the NBA has a massive audience in China, and they don't want to piss off the Chinese government. It's that simple. And so there are open channels for these players to do business with people in China. I don't know why that's such a big shocker. A lot of people do business with China from this hemisphere. And the reality is that they're just part of the world as the world's second largest economy. Do I think it's unfortunate that he has to go to China to get that kind of deal? Maybe, maybe not. But I don't think anybody on earth would turn it down. I'm just trying to be fair to Steph Curry, but in a way, it does feel like he's selling his soul a little bit because China is a communist dictatorship, and that is a fact. So with that in mind, that's who they're mingling with. That's who they're doing business with, and it's their business. I don't have to watch it. I don't think I've seen a full game Steph Curry's played in probably 5 years since he was in a playoff game, and that's been a while now.
Rick says, isn't that where you eat your Chinese lunch, JC?
Yeah. I mean, I have to say I am I do love Chinese food. I love Mexican food.
Mm-hmm.
I love Italian food. I don't know if I love German food yet. I can't quite get there with Germany, but I do love some of these international cuisines. There's no question about it, QB.
Okay.
There's no question.
We got a million texts here. I'm going to pick a few out, and we're going to get to this one probably on Monday. This is from John in the Panhandle. Sent us like the top 10 coaches on the hot seat, but he also has these stats from people that entered the portal, how many entered, how many have left, and how many are stuck in the portal. So we'll jump on that on Monday when there's not a whole lot to talk about. But this is the one that I wanted to get to. This is from Rick in Jupiter on the Titan Mar text line. He says, do you think golf has a problem with its biggest stars not playing against each other often enough? Back in the day, it felt like the top players were in the same tournaments almost every week. Between lighter schedules and the PGA Live split, has the sport lost some of that week-to-week excitement, especially for casual fans? I'll go first, and I'll let you answer, JC.
Sure thing. Go ahead.
I say no. The PGA Tour to me is more competitive than it's ever been.
Mhm.
It is a dogfight week in and week out, regardless if the Scotty Scheffler takes a week off or whatever. There are so many damn good players in the world that play golf. Remember, only 120, I think, make the PGA Tour, and it's way more competitive than it ever has been, even when Tiger was in his heyday. Tiger was battling Bob Mays and those type of players. These guys nowadays are so athletic, like Tiger was. I don't think there's any comparison. And I think it's great TV. This week is like a major. The Memorial is like a major golf tournament. Your thoughts, JC?
My thoughts are that you've got a field in this weekend's tournament that is like a major, and I think Rory is getting more aligned with the way Tiger was as he advanced through his career, basically just playing majors and a couple of events. Now, Rory likes to play the Memorial, as do most people, because it's Jack Nicklaus's big deal. It's his party, so they're all going to go to that party, but they're not going to go to the Zurich Classic in New Orleans. They're not going to go to the Valero Classic in San Antonio. The tour is weekly. It's a lot of wear and tear with the travel and the 4 days of playing and the 2 days off, because there's also a practice day. So I think it's exactly as you say, the most competitive circuit in this sport, and there's no longer any doubt about that. And, if you look at it this weekend, I picked Wyndham Clark and Tommy Fleetwood. They're winning right now after the first round. But who's to say that Justin Rose or Sepp Straka or somebody like that can't win this? That the difference is that so many guys can win nowadays, whereas back in the day, maybe 10 guys could win and the rest of them were just playing to make a living. Chris DeMarco played at a time where he was just basically trying to make a living on tour, and he made a very good living because he figured out how to putt, but he never won anything. Nowadays, we've got 10 to 20 guys, 30 guys who can all win, and they're doing it. And so when you win a golf tournament, that's a special thing, and they reward you for that, because it's very hard to do because of how competitive that tour and that circuit is. And it's more so today than ever before. And that's because we have better players today than ever before. So I think it's great if you love golf. But if you just want to watch three guys play and fight it out amongst each other, basically just turn into the majors, because that's what they're going to play in. I think Rory's taken 3 weeks off now in 2 separate occasions after big events that he played in. And that's just the way it's gotten because of how his status has emerged as a all-time great golfer.
Yeah. And but this week is hard golf course.
Oh,
Watch.
God.
Yesterday was great golf.
That's great. It's great. And the rough is up. It demands, as I was saying yesterday on Win with JC, you have to be accurate from the fairways in. Jack will give you spaces to hit the drive, but then after the drive, you're going into a target, basically, and you have to be very accurate. When I saw Scotty hit in the water yesterday, it made me laugh, because it was just a tee shot on a par 3, but the wind took the ball away.
And he raised hell with his caddy, because his caddy didn't tell him the correct yardage according to the wind. And if people have not seen it, I watched it live.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
he was just giving his caddy on the walk to the drop area.
Wearing him out.
I hit the perfect shot. I can't believe it.
It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. I mean, what am I supposed to do? He's got his hat like this. He's got his hat up like this. Like, what am I supposed to do? I mean, I just flushed the 7-iron and it's left. And we're not even close, and I'm dropping from the zone. It's just so frustrating. That actually makes me laugh.
The beauty about it is Scotty didn't say one cuss word.
No. But man, didn't it make you laugh to see him?
I freaking loved it. And he didn't stop after he hit his third shot from the drop area. Yeah. As they were walking, he was still giving his damn caddy.
Did he make 6? Did he make a 6?
He made a 5.
Oh, there you go.
JC, all you got to do, he hit it on the green.
That's right. He's dropping from the zone, hitting 3 instead of striking distance from the tee box. Okay.
Gotcha. Did you know gold and silver have outperformed the S&P 500 over the last 25 years? Money Metals specializes in helping first-time investors, plus they're owned by 2 Gator grads, Mike and Stefan Gleason. To learn more, visit moneymetals.com. Gators signed a catcher. He was the player of the year in the conference from Florida Gulf Coast yesterday. So they're very active.
How about some left-handed pitching? Can we get some of that?
I'm with you there, but the offense is important too. Let's not
It is.
forget in the
Yeah.
2 games against freaking Troy, we didn't hit the ball.
That's
Okay?
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think when you're hitting and you're down 10 runs, it changes the way you hit. You get more, unfortunately, more aggressive and start going after pitches you normally wouldn't. You become less patient because when you fall behind like that, it's so debilitating and so demoralizing that when you're at the plate, you're just trying to do things you normally wouldn't try. But I agree with you. The hitting was crap, but it was really the pitching that let us down. And there's no question that that was the case. Even the best pitchers on the rotation let us down. And listen, they're not happy about it. We're not happy about it. But I'm rooting like hell for Troy. I got a 40-1 ticket on Troy, and I mean, why not? Who cares? Throw $5 out there and see if you can win $200. QB, I don't know if you saw this. I know you didn't see this, but one of the greatest sports stories you may have ever heard of that you don't know about or care about necessarily is taking place in women's tennis at the French Open. And I don't know if you know anything about this, but I'll be very brief about it, but it is worth mentioning. Mia Czarlinski, who is a Polish tennis player, is in the finals of the French Open, which is the equivalent of a major on the golf tour.
Yeah.
This girl was unranked, unseeded, playing in what they call 125s and challenger events, which is basically the lowest of the lowest, like Westside Park. She wasn't even really on the circuit. She qualified in 3 different rounds just to get into the round of 128, and now finds herself in the finals, guaranteed to make no less than $1.6 million. And we're talking about a girl basically who plays at Westside Park.
That's awesome.
And she is now trying to win a Grand Slam event. She beat a Russian player yesterday. She beat these really good.
If she wins, does she get like status like when you win on the PGA
Right?
Tour?
Yeah, she's gone from basically being ranked 200 and something in the world to now in the 20s. If she wins this tournament, she's good to go for forever. And she's from Poland. She is Iga Swiatek's a 6-time Grand Slam winner, one of her best friends from Poland. And the whole place in France is going nuts. I just think you would like that story because you like these kind of underdog stories, and this is the biggest underdog. This is like Troy or Little Rock winning the College World Series or something like that. That's what this is like.
Clint says on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, what about Auburn softball coming down to Florida and taking the Florida Pitcher of the Year? Well, we have the National Pitcher of the Year, the National Player of the Year coming in. Well, she's already here. We have multiple Florida Pitchers of the Year on our staff that have struggled in SEC and big-time softball. So no concerns there. No concerns.
Tonight, QB, we got game 2 in the NBA. I believe that's the case.
Yep.
Knicks and Spurs. Once again, the Knicks proving everybody wrong except me. And I think they're as good as gold to win tonight.
I don't think they win tonight. I think the Spurs win tonight.
Well, most people agree with that, and that's why it's a 5.5-point spread. But the Knicks have beaten everybody by double digits.
They've won 12 or 14 games in a row.
It's unbelievable to me how good Brunson has played. And I think they're so much deeper than the Spurs. You know what the Spurs remind me of? They remind me of basically a team with one guy and 4 dudes running around in circles trying to get.
I don't know, JC.
Well, without Wemby, that's not a chance.
Stephen Castle was Rookie of the Year last year.
But he's not the reason they're there. We all
know
but
he's freaking good. He's a 6'6" guard from Connecticut. He's a good player.
Okay. Well,
they're young, man. Yeah, you got to remember, their average age is like 24 years old.
Yeah, and I think that's okay. I still got the Knicks easily in this. I think it's 5 or 6 games, and I'm not saying that because the Knicks are blowing everybody out by double digits. I'm just simply saying it because they're deeper, and I think they're better. I think Towns is playing great defense. Anunoby is great under the glass. Josh Hart got 15 rebounds last night, didn't score any points, and to me, it's a better roster at this point in the season, and I see them winning it. You're probably right. Spurs tonight. Are you going to lay 5.5?
Spurs beat the best team in basketball. I think the Thunder were the best team.
Well, they were during the season, but yeah. Are you telling me you would lay 5.5 points? I'm not sure about that.
I think the Spurs win big tonight.
Win big? You think they're going to blow out the Knicks? Okay.
10 or 12.
Woo.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the NBA, man. If you watch it, none of the games make sense.
It doesn't make sense to me that the point differential with New York is bigger than anywhere.
Because the
anytime.
Knicks have shot, I said this last week on the podcast. The Knicks have shot the basketball better than any NBA team I've ever seen in
Yeah.
this 12-game span.
Mm.
Eventually, that can't continue happening.
You wouldn't think so, but my goodness. Well, let's just say I'm glad I got an 8-1 sitting out there on the
All right.
Knicks.
This Day in Sports brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union. Put some star power to work in your financial life. Campus USA Credit Union. 2014 Major League Baseball Draft. Cathedral Catholic High School in California. Never heard of this dude that got drafted number 1 overall. Tell me if you've ever heard of him, JC.
Okay.
Yeah. Houston Astros select Brady Aiken.
No.
Yeah. He was the number 1 pick of the Major League Draft in 2014.
Okay.
That dude, I think you and I threw more pitches in the major leagues or the same amount as he did.
Yes. Yes, that's a good point. Yeah. Hey, JC, can the Yankees survive without Aaron Judge for 4 to 6 weeks? I mean, it's a different year.
What's wrong with him now?
Oh, he's got a little rib fracture going on down there. And, Stanton, I honest to God, I can't believe this guy gets paid a salary. He never plays a consistent month or 2 or 3 during the season. Always banged up, always hurt. These guys, I think the steroids did something to their bodies or something. It's all coming back to roost, just like Tiger. I mean, honest to goodness, these guys cannot last. And I'm not trying to pick on anybody, but honest to God, nowadays when college kids are having trouble throwing 48 pitches, it's just a different world, dude. Nolan Ryan yelled at the guy for coming out in the 9th inning to try to pull him after 140 pitches. Nolan Ryan didn't want any part of that. He was going to finish. Yeah, it's just so different today with injuries. I know it's harder, it's bigger, faster, stronger. I get all that, but my God, there seems to be injuries are as big a story in our everyday sports life today, watching this stuff in college and pros as anything else. It's always about injuries. If you don't have them, you've got a chance to win, and if you have them, you do not have a chance to win. And so what I think about that is that the Yankees aren't going to win anything when they got to completely redo the lineup every damn month, every damn week. The pitching, you can't count on Carlos Rodon. He pitched great last night. Is he going to be there in a month from now? Probably not. Schlittler's the only guy that's really doing it for the Yankees, and I appreciate the question from our good friend Mike M. But my God, you can't count on these guys. You cannot count on them, and it's just the way sports is today.
We're on 71 on YouTube, brought by Clay Plum, says the 2 advantages the Knicks have is they have prime veterans, and Jalen Brunson is playing out of his mind. Don't knock the Spurs, JC. They are with lottery talent and a lifetime talent.
Okay, well, when I see them run an offense with a 7'4" guy walking down the court and taking threes because he can, and I don't really see any offense going on right now, that means
they're good, man.
I'm not saying that, but this is a series between 2 teams, and I got the right one, I think, and I'm sticking with them.
I will do this. Since you owe me like 5 lunches, I will do one of the lunches and I'll take the Spurs to win the series.
Okay. All right.
I think the Spurs are so freaking talented.
I think the Knicks are so freaking talented. I mean, I look at that team, like you said, they can shoot, they're deep, they can rebound.
They're shooting well now. Normally they don't shoot well.
Well, in the playoffs, QB, they're unmistakable right now. I mean, what they did to the Hawks, what they did to the Sixers, what they did to the Cavs, they literally made them quit, QB. That was Indiana football is what they are right now.
I know that, but the East is nowhere near what the West is.
That's fine. Okay, that's fine, but the Lakers were still playing in the playoffs in the second round. I don't know. Maybe the rest is a little overrated. How good was Denver, really? Were they really that good? So I think, and I'm not an NBA guy. I'm really not. I watch the playoffs and that's it. But I know what I see. I'll tell you what else you got to watch is these NHL playoffs. Last night, 2-0 deficit. Carolina comes back from the dead in the third period, forces overtime, wins it 4-3. The night before, it was 5-4. This is entertaining stuff, and it's going back to the Fortress now in Las Vegas for games 3. This is a 6 or 7 game series. These are the 2 best teams of hockey, and I tell you, it's really Raleigh, North Carolina hasn't had this much fun since NC State won it in the 70s in basketball with David Thompson and Norm Sloan. Since then, it's dead world in Raleigh. Valley. Other than
I thought
that,
the Carolina Hurricanes won it not too long ago.
they won it 23 or some odd years ago. Yes,
Yeah.
but since then they had been losers in the playoffs, in the Eastern Conference Finals for year after year after year after year. They're dominant, but they don't get to across the finish line. Right now, they have the best chance to do that, but I'm still sitting on Vegas at 2-1.
Silverback concrete builds firm foundations for generations. You stand on it, we stand by it. We'll have Brad Wilkerson here momentarily. In the meantime, you got JC rambling about the Knicks being the greatest basketball team in the history.
Oh my God, QB, they blow everybody's doors off. They are Indiana football right now. I'm sorry, you just watched the game tonight. What you're going to see is when the Spurs fall behind, big tall guy is going to take the ball and shoot it. That's it.
He doesn't shoot that. I mean, dude,
did you watch the first game?
I did. I've watched the Knicks play I watched them play the Thunder. He probably should be the MVP.
Yeah.
They gave it to Gilgeous Alexander, which I think he's outstanding too.
Yeah.
But this dude's a freak, man.
Yeah, he's great. I don't deny this. But like I said, it's him and 4 guys running around, it feels like.
But those guys are all lottery picks, JC. Trust me.
Okay.
The Spurs ain't going anywhere in the next 6 to 7 years.
Okay.
Franklin says Duke is coming to the O-Dome. I meant to mention that. In the ACC SEC
How
Challenge.
fun.
I will say this right now. That is going to be the most expensive basketball ticket in the history of the school.
In the history of the school.
Tell me one that would be more.
No, this is a Gator basketball
Has Duke
team.
ever been to the O'Connell Center?
Not that I can recall.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, the O'Connell Center. So, I mean, look, the Gators are going to be a preseason top pick, right? So everybody's coming back. We're all excited. They got the coach. They got everything
Both
in
these
place.
teams will be top 5.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. But, November basketball, what is this, a November, December type of scenario? I think it is. We forget about that.
It's usually pretty early in the season.
Yeah, it has to be. It has to be. So, these are fun things to watch during football season. Hopefully the Gators will have 5, 6, 7 wins by then when they come here. But the football
we played them there last year.
But the Gators played at Duke, almost won, should have probably. And Duke hit some timely threes. But this is great for the sport. I do think, however, that we tend to forget all of this when we get to the real season, which is March. And that's what we got. I'm glad that they're playing these teams or teams like this pre-SEC or pre-conference schedule. It really does drive interest. It's so much better than seeing some school we've never heard of come in here. It doesn't mean anything.
We'll still have those too.
Well, you do, but at least you have this on the schedule to look forward to. I think it's great. I don't know why it took so long. I think it took so long to get something like this because it took the Gators a while to get back, but they did in 2024 and 25, and now here in 25, 26, we had a disappointing finish, but I think 26 and 27 shapes up to be, if they can stay healthy, a very exciting season upcoming.
Dan wants to know, before we get you out of here, on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law, your thoughts on the Stars and the
my thoughts on the Stars and what? QB and his 1996 technology. I think he wanted to know my thoughts on the Stars moving to the suburbs. Maybe that's what he's asking. That will happen in 2031 after the lease ends at American Airlines Arena. And the simple fact of the matter is that the business community, the people, the migration is to the suburbs of North Dallas. And in North Dallas, that is where your hockey fans reside. It is a pain in the ass. And I have taken this trip from North Dallas downtown to Dallas for a simple Wednesday night or even weekend game. And it's much better. It's much better for the fan base of the Stars to be playing in the north part of Dallas. Here, I'll move over here. In the north part of Dallas. Ooh, look at this. So anyway, I hope that answered the question. I hope that was the question. And if so, I think I answered it properly. My biggest advice on this show as I leave for the weekend is for everybody to contribute $1 so the QB can get technology that is in today's world and get out of the 1990s and maybe spend a little money and get his internet back. That would be my advice as I leave you all great fans and great viewers and listeners to PodUp with Matthews in the morning on this Friday as he gets ready for Brad Wilkerson. And I have to go to a doctor's appointment. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you on Monday.
Our premium sponsors are Atlantic Roofing, Campus USA Credit Union, International Diamond Center, J.F. Hayden's Craft Liqueurs, Los Landeros Tequila, Meldon Law, Titan MRI and Imaging, Castaway Sauce, UF Health Orthopedics, Michael Schneider PLLC, Florida Legends Gala and Experience, Money Metals, Sensei Asian Bistro. Our gridiron sponsors are Baker Sports, Florida Cracker Oyster, Gallo Car Wash, Miapa Latin Cafe, Peachland Dental, Quality Plumbing, Ruse Ogre State Farm, Silverback Concrete, 84 Lumber, Big Mills Cheesesteaks, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Florida Cracker Kitchen, Gator Dominoes, Ironwood Golf Course, McDonald's of Gainesville, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, UF Bookstores, International Gold and Diamond, Advocare, and MGA&A Wealth. Watch and listen to us live on Facebook or YouTube. Listen to podcasts wherever, on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And to advertise, be sure to call my man Freddie at 352-284-3733.
Naysayers. Setbacks. Injuries. Life throws a lot of hurdles your way. The key is just keep jumping them.
Gainesville's best-kept secret is finally being revealed. Introducing Sensei Asian Bistro. Located in Celebration Point next to Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, Sensei delivers a one-of-a-kind Japanese-French fusion experience that's as refined as it is unforgettable. Indulge in signature dishes like our smoked New York strip, Chilean sea bass, matcha curry, or the crave-worthy chunggang chili chicken. Pair it all with handcrafted cocktails, fresh crudo oysters, or our premium A5 Wagyu tataki. Sensei Asian Bistro. Make your reservation today.
The jewelry store with the most likes, the most positive reviews, the most raving fans is International Diamond Center.
IDC is definitely a place that I will come to as long as I live here. This will be my go-to place always.
Literally the best jewelry store in town. You'll make friends for life coming in here. I felt like family from the beginning. The value was extraordinary.
I've got a beautiful diamond on my finger and I'm very proud of it.
International Diamond Center.
I'm very happy to show it off.
At Celebration Point and online at shopidc.com.
Hi there, this is Coach Steve Spurrier, and I want to let you know that by popular demand, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill's delicious brunch is now served in a premium buffet. You have spoken, we have listened, and we're now serving Gainesville's only elevated buffet, complete with an omelet station, ginger sage chicken sausage, shredded short rib, plus you can enjoy bottomless mimosas and Bloody Marys. So join us every Saturday and Sunday from 11 to 3 for the best brunch in town.
Welcome back to the International Diamond Center Studios. Florida Cracker Oyster Bar and Grill is the ultimate spot for seafood and more. No matter the occasion, they're ready to welcome you Florida Cracker style. Check them out, Keystone Heights. Back to the Titan More Hotline. We're joined now by, I believe, I said earlier, the best player to ever play baseball at the University of Florida, Brad Wilkerson. What's up, my man? How are you?
I'm doing good, Shane. I appreciate you having me. Got a nice view this morning up here in Atlanta. It's good.
Yeah, before we get, I'll let everybody know what you're doing now, but I want to go back. You know, you were like the first guy. I know Caglione and Cade McDonald, they pitched a little bit, they hit, played in the field, but you were the guy back in the mid-'90s. Went to 2 World Series, 96 and 98. You as a coach now, are there a lot of players that do what you did back in the day, or is that everybody specialized now?
Oh, it's more specialized now. I think that a lot of guys are getting pushed away from that. Obviously, it's a special thing to do and it's even more special now. Just the amount of work you got to put in workout wise and having to sacrifice so much for one or the other. It's been, a diminished product in the game a little bit. I felt like you would see a little bit of a spike with the Otani thing, happening at the big league level.
Mm-hmm.
And you see a little bit like that. I get to see the Evan Dempsey kid from FGCU on an annual basis the last couple of years. He's been outstanding at doing it. I mean, there's a reason why he's a first, second team All-American guy. He does it effectively from both sides of the ball. Now you see Caden McDonald popping up and guys like that. It's been, I feel like we're going to see a little spike in it again, but not as much, obviously.
Yeah. Well, Brad, when you look at your career, obviously you're in the College Baseball Hall of Fame. You won a gold medal. You hit a grand slam, which was, what was it, like a 30-year anniversary, I guess on June 1st. You and I both were born on June 1st, but you hit that grand slam at old Rosenblatt in the College World Series against Florida State. What's the one thing that stands out the most that you look at and you say, that's the best achievement that I've had in your baseball career?
I mean, a team thing, winning a gold medal, there's nothing better than that, right? I mean, getting to stand on the podium and listen to your national anthem play for your country and, be able to do that feat and beat a Cuban team that was supposedly unbeatable and a bunch of minor league baseball players go over there and do it. It was, I can't even describe it, but it was a blessing for me to be involved in it, to be the starting center fielder on that team and win that gold medal. I've had so many accomplishments in this game. This game's brought me a lot of, great things to my life. And, but I would say that's probably the best. I mean, early on in my, baseball career, playing on the 18U national team and winning that world championship, but going to Florida and that day, I was watching it the other day before I actually went to the Florida game on June 1, watched Troy put a whipping on her butt, but it gives me chills every time I see it. I mean, it was the ultimate team. We were a great team, and that was a lot of fun back then in '96.
Yeah. Just so people know, Brad Wilkerson now is an assistant coach at the University of North Florida, the Ospreys, who play the Gators. What's that like whenever you come when, those Tuesday night games when you're in the dugout of the new ballpark? It's not the ballpark you played in, but what's that like coaching against the Gators?
It's awesome. I mean, it's just sit over there and think about where this program was and where it is now, and the resources have been poured in this program, and it continues to get poured in this program. It's awesome to see. I've been very fortunate to be in Florida since I left the University of Florida. So I've followed the program. I've followed Sully and what he's done with this program and taken it to a new level. So it's just very fortunate that I'm a small piece to, the whole organization, right? And a small piece of the University of Florida, and very fortunate to be in that spot.
Barone71 on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, wants to know your thoughts on baseball going away from small ball and situational hitting for long ball and power full time. Seems like the past 30 years have diminished the game. Your thoughts on that?
I feel like it's coming back. I feel like, you talk to scouts around, the area and cross checkers and all the guys you talk to and advisors, agents, GMs, all these people, they're like, oh, contact matters, because the guy contact actually win World Series and win championships. And you look at the numbers, you can't deny it. Obviously, we look for power. We look for guys that hit the ball hard. But strikeouts aren't a thing in winning baseball, and it's starting to trend back to that a little bit more, in my opinion. You see it at the big league level, and it's trickling down, to the college level again, that you got to be able to execute. You got to be able to knock a guy in from third base when you need to with the infield in and not strike out. And, I think it's been, just watching the game and being involved in our games, one of the issues I see with a lot of teams is they don't situationally hit. And I feel like the guys, it still comes down to, can you catch the ball? Can you throw the ball? And can you drive them in when you're supposed to? That's how you win baseball games. I don't care what anybody says. That's how you win games. And, you need to hit a home run here and there, but you got to be able to drive them in when you're supposed to drive them in. And that's what winning baseball teams look like.
William on the Titan More text line says, Brad, how difficult is it recruiting at a school like North Florida?
I think it is in certain avenues, and it's easier in certain avenues too. I mean, we're not University of Florida. We don't have the resources. The name on the jersey carries a lot more clout. People want to go to the University of Florida, but people want to come to North Florida too. And you just got to do your due diligence. And that's what I love to do, is get down in the guts of it and look how these players perform and look how they compete. We want guys to come in here and compete, and guys that want to come in here and get better every day. And there's a lot of guys out there that want to do it. You just got to put the extra work in. And that's what I love doing. That's why I'm doing what I do, because I want to see guys, get better every day and come in here and perform and get that opportunity. I don't see it as a burden. Obviously, maybe other people see it that way, but I don't see it as a burden at all.
Let me ask you this, because the college sports has changed dramatically since back when we played. At a school like y'all, are you focusing more on trying to bring in high school kids, or does North Florida get a lot of guys out of the portal? Say, because there's a ton of guys that play, let's say, SEC baseball, don't get an opportunity. We've seen some Gators go into the portal in the last few days. Do y'all look more at those kind of guys that kind of drop down a level, or y'all still focusing more on high school kids?
Well, I think it's a big mix for us. We still want to recruit high school kids. We're bringing in 12 high school kids in this 26 class coming up, which is a lot, especially in today's day and age. But I feel like with the talent pool that we have and the ability to develop these guys and give them opportunities to play early, I think that we got to continue to do that. We got to continue to develop guys and use these high school kids, especially arms, I'm a big develop arms by bats kind of guy, and that's what kind of how I recruit. And we are continuing to go after the high school kids. We're going to mix in the JUCO kids. We're going to mix in a few portal guys here and there, and we're going to get after it.
Got a question here on YouTube brought to you by Quality Plumbing. Does North Florida have any baseball camps for kids going into ninth grade this summer?
Yes. We will be. Our next camp going into ninth grade is going to be in August. We just have one June 3rd. We usually don't do one early in the summer like June 3rd, but we lost a camp in January, some recruiting opportunities in January because our field was getting redone and the turf was getting put down and the new wall and all that kind of stuff. So, yes, we will have another one in August, and we'll probably have one in November.
Daryl's question on the Titan More text line for you, Brad, being a coach at UNF, what do you think about the talent in the Jacksonville area? And do you think too much travel ball burns kids out?
Very fortunate to be in Jacksonville. Very fortunate to see that talent pool. It's definitely a top 10 baseball city as far as talent in the country, in my opinion. So it kind of gives us a head up on getting good players at the high school level and seeing a lot of great talent within a small, area, which is awesome. And, we're very fortunate in that. We kind of, recruit from Jacksonville out, right? And trying to get, good high school kids from the area. I know we're competing with JU and, those types of players, but, it's a great access to have with that close to your university, that kind of talent. What was the second part of that question? Sorry, Shane.
He was talking about travel ball. Do you think too much travel ball burns kids out?
100%. I think kids need to. It's hard in Florida. I think in Florida, people push you to one sport too early. I think you need to be playing multiple sports as long as you can. I know probably when you get to the high school age, once you make a decision, you're gonna go for one, that's great. But these kids need to be playing multiple sports. They need to be developing their body, developing different muscles in their body. I mean, I played 4 sports through high school, and I know it's different these days, but I feel like my body, I never really had problems with injuries unless I dove after a ball and blew my shoulder up. I never had, muscle injuries or things like that. And I attribute to developing my body and all the muscles in your body, just not specializing.
I can't agree more. George says here on the Titan Amore text line, Brad, did you aspire to be a head coach one day in college baseball?
Yes. I would like to do that. I really enjoy what I do, but I think to run your own program and put your mark on it would be something that I would like to do moving forward. But right now I'm just focused on making my situation as good as it can be and making North Florida very competitive.
And then Jimmy says on the Titan Amore text line, Brad, do you know much, or did y'all play against Florida Gulf Coast last year about this catcher that we just signed?
Yes, I did. And he can catch and throw a little bit. He's a strong kid, got some juice in the bat. Obviously had a great year, competitive. Like he brings a lot to the table, and I think he's going to be successful at that level. He's just a competitor. He's been coached. He went to a great high school with great baseball, great coaching. He's been on a winning team his whole life. So I feel like he's going to make a pretty easy transition into that lineup next year.
I want to ask you this because, I got a lot of good friends that coach, one double A or FCS football or whatever, and they bust their tail kind of like UNF, you guys do, finding kind of diamonds in the rough. They come in, have a great year, and then bam, big schools come off from a bunch of money and they go elsewhere. What's that like as a coach when you're like, man, I could have you for a couple of years, but you only get them for like 1 year and then they leave?
It's disappointing, but I'm done with being upset about it. I'm done with being, it's, in my opinion, it's not the player's fault. It's the system's fault. So I don't really hold a grudge. I mean, obviously I'd love to have, we're probably going to lose 2 of our better players here shortly. And it's disappointing, but hey, you got to move on. You got to go get the next guy. You got to keep improving. You got to keep evolving. That's the testament to, the coaches out there, that they just got to keep going and evolving. Right. And that's the tough part, is that you have a standard that you try to teach these kids and live by, and, they end up leaving, and, it is what it is, but you got to move on. You got to go get the next player and keep trying to evolve as a coach and trying to figure out how we're going to be good enough the next year and good enough to compete for championships. And that's what it's about. And getting these kids to buy into the standard that you want to, put forth.
Obviously the Gators lost a tough regional to Troy. Nobody thought that would happen. Looking at who's left in the College World Series, Brad, who you expect to win it all in Omaha?
That Texas team looks pretty tough. That's going to be an unbelievable matchup this weekend, I think. I think Oregon's kind of my sleeper pick to win the World Series. They're very physical. They hit with power. They got power arms, all that stuff. So I could go with whoever's going to win that series. I hate to go. I guess Texas is in the SEC. I'm still not used to Texas being in the SEC, but going outside the SEC, I'm going to go Oregon. But I think Texas is going to be a tough team to put down.
That'd be interesting. And I don't know if anybody's ever won the women's and men's, softball and baseball in the same year. I'd have to think about it, but they have an opportunity to do that.
Softball World Series was exciting. It always is, but it has some good storylines, obviously, with the little Gator ties to it. And, it was even, we weren't in it, but it was, it was pretty good World Series.
Yeah. All right. Last thing, we'll get you out of here. This is from Bobby on the Titan Amore text line. He wants to know, Brad, who was the toughest pitcher that you hated to face in the majors?
Oof. I get asked that a lot. I mean, there was a lot of tough ones. I mean, if you count the closers, it's a different story. I'll go with starting pitcher. I mean, for some reason, Kurt Schilling, he threw Rod and Burke fastballs before that was even a thing. We just called it a different thing. He would go four-seamer 98 up, and then he'd throw me a splitter. And, I always had a tough time with him. He would throw you inside. He'd move your feet. He'd throw one up on your chin. He was very competitive, obviously, and that's why he was successful. And he kind of tore me up. But, a lot of closers were tough too. Just seeing them one time around, one time a night's always tough. But, I remember when Smoltz went to closing for the Braves that year. It's like, I used to be pretty good or decent, comfortable off him as a starter, but as a closer, it was like 98 with 92-mile-an-hour splitters. I'm like, this isn't very fun. So, I would have to go Kurt Schilling. I faced Randy Johnson. Everybody asked me about Randy Johnson. For some reason, I had success off him. So, I can't really say he was the toughest guy I faced.
Interesting. Brad, good stuff as always. We appreciate you taking time. I know you're out recruiting and everything. Good luck in your coaching career. We'll be following you, and who knows, maybe you'll be in the dugout for the Gators one day. We'll have to wait and see.
We'll see. I appreciate you, Shane.
All right, that's Brad Wilkerson. Join us on the Tate No More Hotline. Miapa Latin Cafe is proud to support Gator Nation for 23 years. Best Latin food north of Miami. Go check them out at one of their 5 locations. Again, thanks to JC and Brad for joining the program. Castaway Hot Sauce. Try their signature ball kicker hot sauce inspired by the HBC Steve Spurrier and his famous kick in 1966. Have a great weekend, folks. We'll see you on Monday. Take care.